Good morning, everyone. In the last lecture, we have completed 2.6, the science and spirituality. Also, we have discussed some activities. Now, just few activities have been left. Let's discuss page number 98. Page number 98, 10th activity. We have discussed till C. Now 10th activity, look. Match the word connectors with a reference to part first, second, third respectively, and make sentences of each of these connectors. We have to join words by referring part first, second and third. I just tell you those phrases, you use those phrases in your sentences. I just tell answers, I just connect those words. First, government, right in front of government K, government officials. Government officials. So write K in front of government. Next, betterment of humanity, write young. Betterment of humanity, write young. Pure and ethical life, take I. Pure and ethical life. Communities problems, take L. Communities problems, take L. Religions discipline, take T. Religions discipline. Astonishing aspect, take H. Astonishing aspect, take H. Technological advancement, take Q. Technological advancement, take Q. Frank dialogue, take E. Frank dialogue, take E. Social service, take N. Social service, take N. Faith curbs, take B. Faith curbs, take B. Inquisitive person, take A. Academic brilliance, take R. Academic brilliance, R. Environmental degradation, C. Environmental degradation, take C. Environmental degradation, C. Pin drop silence, take F. Pin drop silence, take F. Alternate, I think that yes. Alternate accommodation, alternate accommodation. Remarkable person, take A. Just 1 minute. Inquisitive, what we have taken for inquisitive? Yes, take person. For that also take person, no problem. Remarkable person. Silent motivation, G. Silent motivation, G. Famished bodies, famished bodies. Unsuccessful launch, unsuccessful launch. Space Research Center, Space Research Center J, Space Research Center J. In this way, we have joined given words to form phrases. Now you use these phrases in your own sentences. I am not giving them. According to your skill, you form sentences and use those phrases in your own sentences. Now grammar question 11. Simple sentence. Look, what is the structure of simple sentence? Subject plus verb or subject verb object. Sometimes there would be complement, sometimes there would be adverbial. The structure of simple sentence is subject, verb and object. Sometimes there would be complement, sometimes there would be adverbial. Now look, analyzing a simple sentence is done by separating the subject and predicate. We can analyze the simple sentence by subject part and predicate part. Subject part and predicate part, in that way we can analyze the given sentence. The predicate is further analyzed into, predicate part is again analyzed, means predicate is again classified into, look, verb plus object. For example, a doctor treats patient. Okay, a doctor treats patient. Here doctor is subject part and treat patient is predicate. Here in predicate, verb is treat and patient is object. So predicate part is analyzed in verb plus object. In this sentence given, a doctor is subject part and treat patients. Look, treat is verb and patient is object. He greeted the teacher. In this sentence, he is subject part and greeted the teacher, that is predicate part. And the predicate is further analyzed into verb plus object, because greeted is verb and the teacher is object. So predicate can be separated in verb plus object. Second, verb plus complement. Predicate can be classified into verb plus complement for subject. They are very tired. They is subject part and are very tired is predicate. They is subject part and are very tired is predicate. Look, very tired, what is very tired? It is complement for subject. Who are tired? They. So very tired is complement, and so predicate part is analyzed in verb plus complement. Are is verb and very tired is complement for subject to they. I have a cold. In this sentence, I is subject part and have a cold is predicate part. I is subject part and have a cold is predicate part. And look, cold is complement to subject. So have plus cold. Have is verb and cold is object. Complement. Complement to I. Complement to subject. So predicate is analyzed into verb plus complement. Okay. Now third, verb plus adverbial as in. Verb plus adverbial. He walks slowly. In this sentence, he is subject part and walks slowly is predicate part. He is subject part and walks slowly is predicate part. And look, this predicate is divided into verb plus adverbial. Verb is walk and slowly is adverb. Walk slowly, slowly is adverb. So that predicate part is analyzed in verb plus adverb, because walks is subject, verb. He is subject, walks verb. How he walks? Slowly. So slowly is adverb. Raj arrived late. Raj arrived late. In this sentence, Raj is subject part and arrived late is predicate part. Raj is subject part and arrived late is predicate part. Look, arrived is verb and late is adverb. So predicate part is further analyzed into verb and adverb because late is adverb. The thief is hiding there. Here, the thief is subject part and is hiding there is predicate part. Thief is subject part and is hiding there is predicate part. Here, is hiding there, this predicate is analyzed in verb plus adverb. Adverb, there is adverb. Okay, so is hiding, it is verb. Is hiding is verb and there is adverb. There is adverb. Okay. In this way, simple sentence is divided into two parts, subject and predicate. Predicate part is again analyzed into three ways. First, verb plus object. Second, verb plus complement, and third, verb plus adverb. Now, on this activity, one question has been asked. Page number 99. Say whether the predicates in the following sentences have an object, complement, or an adverbial. You have to tell whether the predicates in the following sentences have an object, complement, or adverbial. First, there was silence. There is subject part, was, silence is predicate, and silence is here complement, right? Complement. Silence is complement for there was silence. Alexander Bell invented the telephone. Alexander Bell is subject, invented the telephone, that is predicate, and telephone is object. Telephone is object, right? Underline telephone and write object. Invented is verb, telephone is object. They have a holiday. They have a holiday. Here, there is subject part, have a holiday is predicate, and in this predicate, holiday is complement. Take complement because it is complement to subject they. So underline holiday and take complement. The dancer danced gracefully. Dancer is subject part. Danced gracefully is predicate part, and in this sentence, gracefully, underline gracefully, it is adverb. How did he dance? Gracefully, so gracefully, underline adverb. The milkman comes daily. Underline daily. Here the milkman is subject, comes daily is predicate, and in this sentence daily is adverb, adverbial, because it modifies verb comes, so it is adverbial. Underline daily, adverbial. The hostess served tea. Here the hostess is subject part, served tea is predicate part, and in this sentence tea is object. Tea is object. So underline tea because the hostess is subject, served is verb, and tea is object. So tea is object. The kite soared upwards. In this sentence, the kite is subject, soared upwards is predicate, and in this sentence upwards, underline upwards, it is adverbial. It is adverbial. Okay, so upward is adverbial. Have you understood how to recognize predicate part, also complement, object and adverbial? Now next question, 12a, punctuate the following sentences to make them meaningful. We have to punctuate the following sentences. I just tell you, change there. Dinesh, D should be capital. Dinesh, D should be capital, took a bus that stopped at Nanded. Yan, that is name, Yan should be capital. Nanded, a railway station after crossing Somwar Pet. Yes, capital. And P capital, Somwar Pet. Yes, capital, P capital and full stop. Look again, D capital, Nanded, Yan capital, Somwar Pet, yes, and P capital, full stop. Now second, doctor, D capital, R full stop, A capital, full stop, P capital, full stop, J capital, APJ capital, Abdul, A capital, Kalam, K capital, was the past president, P capital, president of India, I capital, by the way, B capital, comma, right after India take full stop. After India take full stop, by the way, comma, by the way, comma, he was a great scientist, comma, he was a great scientist, comma, orator and a humanitarian, okay, full stop, full stop. Again I repeat, D capital, full stop, A capital, full stop, P capital, full stop, J capital, again A capital, K capital, president, B capital, India, I capital, by B capital, comma, scientist, comma, orator and humanitarian, okay, full stop. Now next, nouns are of different types, N capital, nouns are of different types, N capital, after types take semicolon, semicolon, okay, in this way semicolon, semicolon, common, comma, proper, comma, abstract, comma, concrete material, full sorry, after concrete comma, material, full stop. Again N capital, after types take semicolon, after common take comma, proper take comma, abstract, comma, concrete, comma, material, full stop. What a lot of noise you all make, W capital. What a lot of noise you all make, exclamation mark. Put all this sentence into double inverted commas. Put all this part into double inverted commas. Said the teacher, comma, can't, apostrophe in between N and T, can't, apostrophe in between N and T, can't you keep quiet for a while, can't you keep quiet for a while. Put this whole part into double inverted commas. Put this whole part into double inverted commas, question mark. Question mark. Now next, W capital wow, exclamation mark. W capital wow, exclamation mark. How lovely, H capital. How lovely that cake looks, exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. Put this whole sentence into double inverted commas. Put this whole sentence into double inverted commas. They said, comma. They said, comma. W capital, we can't, apostrophe between N and T, apostrophe between N and T, wait to eat it, wait to eat it. Put this whole part into double inverted commas. Put this, we can't wait to eat it, put this whole part into double inverted commas, full stop, okay? Again, W capital, wow, exclamation mark. How, H capital, how lovely that cake looks, exclamation mark. Put this whole part into double inverted commas from the wow to looks. They said, again comma, into double inverted commas. We can't, W capital, apostrophe between N and T, wait to eat it, and this sentence should be into double inverted commas, full stop, okay? In this way, we can punctuate the given sentences, and such sentence can be asked in your exam. Here all activities have been discussed. You try question answers yourself. Here from Unit 2, all lessons have been completed. From Unit 2, all lessons have been completed. Just 2 poems have been left. I am starting first poem, not first, yes, first of second unit, 2.1 animals. 2 poems have been left, animals and the pulley. I am taking 2.1 animals. Page number 44. I have to start new poem. Page number 44. Let's start. 2.1 animals. This poem has been written by Walt Whitman. Page number 46. Everyone pay attention there. Page number 46. Animals 2.1. This poem has been written by Walt Whitman. Look about this poet in introduction passage. Walt Whitman was born in 1819 and he has been passed away in 1892. Walt Whitman, a major figure in early American poetry. He was one of the important persons in early American poetry. He was one of the important authors in early American poetry. When in America, when the poetry, the writing of poems have been started, in that initial stage, Walt Whitman was one of the major personalities, major poets in that period. In an age when all poetry was rhymed and metrical. Metrical means related to poetic meter, means in poetic form, in just poetic form, metrical, relating to poetic meter. Whitman made a break with tradition and wrote a revolutionary new kind of poetry in free verse. In that age when all poems had been written in proper poetic form, means in rhyming pairs, in rhyme scheme, in poetic meter. In that age, this Walt Whitman, this greatest poet Walt Whitman, broke that tradition and started new kind of poetry, which is free verse. In that period, in that age, all poets were writing poems in poetic form, having rhyming pairs, having rhyme scheme, having just 4 lines in one stanza. In that poetic meter, all poems were being written. But this poet Walt Whitman stopped that method, broke that tradition, and he started to write a new kind of poetry in free verse. He was a non-conformist. Non-conformist means a person whose views do not conform to prevailing ideas. Means who's a such person having new ideas, or a person whose views do not conform to prevailing ideas, means a person having new and a bit strange ideas. He was a non-conformist in all respects, including his social life. I just told you, he started new system of free verse in poems. It means he was a bit having new ideas, strange ideas, and so he was non-conformist in all aspects, including his social life. He likes to do something new, something strange, and that would be good. He never follows the same path again and again. He likes to do new things, new revolutionary things, and so he was being considered as a non-conformist. The poet tells us that he feels more at home with animals than humans. Look, what is the message in this poem? Animals means what has poet told in this poem about animals? In this poem, the poet tells us that he feels very safe, he feels very homely with animals than humans. What he finds complicated and false. It means the poet feels very comfortable, very relaxed in the company of animals than humans. He considers humans as complicated and false, dishonest, and everyone knows animals are really loyal, really honest. If they are treated with love, care, and affection, they never distrust you. They never leave you. You must have seen many examples regarding such kind of animals. If they are being treated with love, care and affection, then really they would be very loyal, very honest with us. They never distrust you, they never hurt you, then they would always accompany you. And among such animals, one of the best loyal animals is dog. Dog is very faithful and loyal animal. And you must have seen one Marathi film, Dr. Prakash Baba Amte. Dr. Prakash Amte is a social worker and he is working in Hemalkasa region that was totally of tribal people, and by following his father, Dr. Prakash Amte started to do service of those tribal people by providing them good medical facilities. If you have seen that film, then in that film it has been shown that how he has been treating wild animals in there. Dr. Prakash Amte has been treating wild animals with love, affection and care, and really we get shocked when we see that wild, very ferocious animal as like tiger, leopard, they also behave so lovingly with members in that area. As like pet animals, they behave with them. And look, those animals are very ferocious, very cruel. But Dr. Prakash Amte have treated with those animals with love and care, so they have become very loyal, very true to him and members in that area. So those animals never hurt anyone in that area, or they never attack Dr. Prakash Amte due to love of him. So, in this poem, the same point has been presented. If we behaved lovingly, affectionately with animals, then they are always loyal and true with us. So, poet feels very homely, very happy, very relaxed in the company of animals rather than humans. Look, what does he say in this poem? I think I could turn and live with animals. They are so placid. Placid means very calm, peaceful, not easily upset. Self-contained, self-sufficient, self-satisfied. Self-contained means self-satisfied. Poet says he thinks that he could turn and live with animals. According to him, those animals are so placid, those animals are so peaceful, calm and self-sufficient, self-satisfied. According to poet, all animals are very good in nature, are very placid. They don't get upset easily. They are having a lot of patience. They are very self-sufficient. They never expect anything from others as like human beings. So, the poet wants to live with such animals. I stand and look at them long and long. Due to love and care, due to loyalty for those animals, poet stands and look at them for long and long time. The poet likes to look at them for long time because he is fond of them. He really likes the nature and the company of animals, so he observes them, he stands and looks at them for long time. Look, what did he observe in the company of animals? What did he observe in the company of animals? They do not sweat. And when sweat, don't take literally meaning sweat means hard work. Do hard work. And whine complain about their condition. Animals never do very hard work for earning money, for fulfilling their greed. They never complain about their condition. If they do not get food, then they never complain. They never get so angry. If they get a lot of food, they never get too much happy, too much excited as like human beings. They are so satisfied. They live so satisfied life. They do not sweat and whine about their condition. They never work hard. They never complain about their condition. They accept whatever they have. They do not lie awake in dark and weep for their sins. They do not have to think. They never regret for their bad deeds, where they never awake, lie in the dark. They never awake in the night for a long time, and they never regret for their sins. They are self-satisfied. Look, they do not lie awake in dark and weep for their sins. They do not sweat and whine about their condition. They do not lie awake in dark and weep for their sins. It means they do not spend sleepless hours expressing their sorrows, expressing their regret. They never awake for long time in night in thinking about their conditions, about their sorrows, about their griefs. They do not disgust the poet. They do not make me sick, discussing their duty to God. Make me sick means disgust me, trouble the writer, disgust me, trouble, torture. They do not make me sick, discussing their duty to God. They never trouble people by discussing their duty to God. I have to do this, I do not have to do that. In this way, while discussing about God, about religious activity, they never disgust anyone, they never disgust that poet. No one is dissatisfied, no one is demented, mad, with the mania of owning things. No any animal is dissatisfied. They are totally satisfied. They are totally contented with their life, with whatever they have. They never get crazy fool for earning more and more money. They never get so upset for not having a lot of money, for not having a lot of food. Whatever they have, they are satisfied with them. But if we thought about human beings, some people are never satisfied. They are very greedy. They become very greedy to earn more and more money. So the poet says, no one is dissatisfied. No one is demented with the mania of owning things. No any animal gets crazy. No any animal gets very mad for earning more and more money for owning of some things. They accept whatever they have. They are very satisfied. They are totally contented. So the poet says that as like animals, we should also accept whatever we have. We should be satisfied. We should be contented. We should not get upset. We should not be discouraged. We should not give up in any our critical condition. We should accept whatever we have. We should be satisfied. No one kneels to other, nor to his kind that lived thousands of years ago. Look. No any animal kneels to another as a sign of worship, nor to any ancestor that lived centuries ago. It means they do not have to kneel to another animal for their worship, for something. Look, for human beings, if they want something, then they have to request other person. They have to say again and again for that thing. They have to request, they have to urge for that thing to other person. Means they become helpless. They become helpless without some people. But animals are not helpless. They are self-reliant, self-dependent. They never kneels to another, or their ancestors also never knelt to another animal. It means they are self-reliant. They do not want to ask for help from others. They do their works themselves, and so they are self-dependent, they are self-reliant. But sometimes we have to kneel to other people for our work, for our some things. We have to request them again and again, and we became so helpless. We became slave of them. But such kind of life animals never live. No one is respectable or unhappy over the whole earth. Here respectable means, look here, too happy and satisfied. No one is respectable or unhappy over the whole earth. So they show their relations to me and I accept them. No one is so overexcited and no one is unhappy over the whole earth. No any animal gets overexcited if they got something a lot. They are very peaceful, having patience. They never get overexcited. Also, they never get unhappy over the whole earth. So they show their relation to me and I accept them. So those animals show relations, kindful relations with writer, and writer also hardly accept those relations. Look, they bring me tokens of myself. They evince them plainly in their possessions. Evince means show. Look, poet says animals bring a lot of good qualities to the writer, and they show their qualities plainly in their possession. Look, animals offer the poet a lot of qualities such as innocence, simplicity, and they show by their behavior that those qualities always belong to them. Means animals shows their qualities such like simplicity, politeness by their behavior, and they show that those qualities are always with them. And so the poet wants to live with animals because animals live so simple and polite life. They never take benefit from others for their greed, for their selfish motives. They never deceive others. They never fraud others. They never hurt others they never attack others without any reason. They live very simple and polite life. They never interfere in the life of others as like human beings. They never cheat with each other. They never lie with each other. They are always helpful. They live very simple and polite life. So the poet is very fond of the life of animals and he is very eager to live with them. They bring me tokens of myself. Again, I just repeat. They show them plainly in their possessions. I wonder where they get those tokens. Tokens here, virtues like innocence, simplicity, contentment, etc. Contentment means satisfaction. Content means satisfaction. When poet observes these qualities at that time, he thinks from where he got these qualities. From where he got these qualities, these things. I wonder where they get those tokens. After sensing, after realizing all those good qualities of animals, after appreciating them, he wonders from where did they get those qualities. Did I pass that way huge times ago and negligently drops them, negligently, carelessly. And the poet wonders, mankind, including himself, while passing through various evolutions, they possess those qualities but carelessly dropped them. The poet accepts mankind, including himself, have those qualities while crossing through different evolutions, but they dropped those qualities from one stage to other, from one generation to other generation. So did I pass that way huge times ago and negligently drop them? Poet accepts that the humankind, including him, had those qualities, but while crossing through various stages of evolution, human beings have carelessly left those qualities, but animals have never left those qualities. They have those qualities with themselves forever. So, poet wants to live with animals. He feels that animals are more better than human beings. Animals are very loyal than human beings. They live very simple and polite and satisfied life. So, poet here gives us this message: we should live with the principle of animals. We should live our life according to the principle of animals. Here, this poem has been completed. I discuss figures of speech and question answers in next lecture.